Hello everybody, welcome back to the second episode in my brand new series, Building Adequately. Today, we are building a wizard tower. So, wizard towers, when you think about wizard towers, they aren't towers shaped like this. Wizard towers usually are shaped a bit more like an ice cream cone, in that they have a slightly wider top than they do at the bottom, right? And then on top, wizards are usually associated with like tall pointy hats, which is why we're going to be building a tall pointy roof as well. Now, I built a wizard tower in one of my various single player survival worlds I'm not recording, and I think it turned out pretty good. So I'm going to be following the similar sort of design just because it took me a while to come up with. And if anyone needs inspiration for a wizard tower, here it is. To start, we're going to have a 3-block long walled area with no corners and a hole punch out for the door to be our first base area. Our build palette will be cobblestone, diorite, dark oak, and the things you get out of them, because those are pretty easy to come by and can look well in conjunction with one another. Next, we are going to rebuild that same basic shape 4 blocks tall before beginning the next step. The next step, of course, being preparing the second level. I did this by building out 1 block, including in the corners, but now it's still an empty sort of area, and it's still vaguely as close to circular as you can really get in Minecraft at this small scale. Now we increase the height and repeat. Only the thing is, a cobblestone top won't look very good. Wizard houses, or towers anyways, tend to have a sort of strange little penthouse, I guess, on top of them, which is why we're going to be building it out of diorite. Now, most people consider diorite a very ugly block, and I don't blame them, but it can be used, if you use it right, it can actually be fairly pretty, which is why we're doing it in this build. It's kind of out of the ordinary, but it's very, very easy to come by, which is why we are going to be utilizing it as much as possible in this top section of the build. After building the diorite section on the top, we're going to start working on the roof. To start, I built some basic eaves wrapping around the top of the area. Then I built up 2 blocks. On top of those blocks, I did the same basic sort of eaves thing again, only directly on top, not overhanging. This time, I built up 3 blocks. I want the roof to get steeper and steeper as it goes, to that sort of pointy wizard hat style feel. Build up 4 blocks behind the stairs. Then 5 blocks, this time putting slabs in the corner areas right here, because stairs can't really make a corner stair without having other stairs next to them. 6 blocks on top of that, and 7 fence posts on top of that. And I think we've got a really nice wizard tower roof you can see from miles away. Now, this looks kind of bland and boring in this section. I think it's time to do some detailing. To start, I'm going to put some cobblestone stairs underneath all of these front sections, and again with the corner stair problem, I'm going to probably put slabs under all of the diorite on the corner diagonal sections, like so. Alright, that looks pretty good. Next, we want it to be smoothed out more here, so let's do the same thing, only it looks like I could use some structural support right here. So I'm thinking we could put some fence posts coming up and actually make these full blocks. Now that the cobblestone section looks pretty nice, we should probably start working on the diorite section. My general strategy is to randomly punch out a couple blocks here and there, and fill them in with polished diorite, which gives it a nice sort of like textured feel to it without looking incredibly like strange popping out. Now that the diorite's in place, we're probably going to want some windows. My window design that I usually go with would be, for wizard tower style builds, would be 2 fence posts with glass panes behind them. This is where we start getting extra resources that aren't really necessary for the like general look of the build. I just think they look nicer personally. Speaking of look nicer, now it's time to work on the interior. For the basic interior, we're going to be using much of the same as the outside. However, we're going to be adding in some oak and some decorative blocks. To start, we're going to want a way to get up. So what I'm going to do is I will make a spiral oak slab staircase. You can make any way you want, dig it up you want. You can make ladders, you can do whatever. Personally, I just think this looks kind of nice. So that's what I'm going with. Now, once we make it to the top, we're going to want to fill in the inside with a different material. This just makes it look a bit nicer and cozier, I guess, on the inside without you having to see the kind of ugly diorite. Diorite looks fairly decent from far ways away, but up close, this close to it, it looks like bird poop, to be honest. We will also be filling in the roof. Back to that glass I was talking about earlier. This is completely optional, but personally, I think it looks a lot better in the windows if you have some light gray or white stained glass panes behind the fences. Makes it seem like it has actual windows, and those are just shutters or something outside. Now for the interior decoration. We don't really have much space in this area since the spiral staircase takes up a large portion of it. However, we should be able to fit some basic furniture in. For example, a small little couch and maybe a table next to it. That shouldn't hinder us too much in moving around. Then we can get, again, storage. You always want storage in your builds. And we can make a sort of a stack of barrels over here. It just looks like they're piled up crates, right? And over here we can do this, and then another flower pot. And actually, when I searched up flower, cornflower came up, and that actually looks pretty nice. So that's what I will do. And in the corner, as always, a potted plant. Now this looks pretty nice, but we could really use some lighting. So I'm going to add some torches around various areas of the build. It doesn't look too bad in this style of build to just have torches like this around as many of the windows as you can. And then all we really need beyond that is really nothing. I mean, we could add just some various decorative blocks, right? Like we could add a crafting table in that corner, right? And a cartography table in this corner. And maybe what else do we have to add? I mean, we could add just a random regular chest right here, right? And I think that's this area of the interior pretty much in place. Now, if we come down here, this looks very ugly, and what I would do, honestly, is I would probably take just some oak planks and just kind of fill these side areas here, because it just kind of hides the cobblestone. Because cobblestone really, it looks a little bit busy in large quantities, and that isn't usually something you want to go for. Maybe it is. Maybe you want your builds to look busy and cramped, but honestly, personally, I don't really like that. So I'm going to do my best to do that sort of thing. And it is sort of a medievalish fantasy build, right? So I could theoretically, not going to put them under the stairs. I could theoretically put some lighting just kind of dotted around. You can change it up whenever you want. Now this cobblestone makes it look a bit more structural, which it kind of is. This is supporting up the entire build technically, right? And yeah, now these stairs look very flimsy. So what I'm going to do is under all the stairs that you can place stuff under, which is every other one, I'm going to put a dark oak fence post, because dark oak fence posts look very structurally sound. And then probably under this corner right here. Oh wait, that won't work. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. That is assuming you can still walk up. Yeah, you can still walk up. Great, now this is a wizard tower. Now this build is mostly designed for just outside decorative viewing. It isn't really made to have a very spacious interior, so you can't make a very good sort of looking inside. But from a distance and from far away, like with the sunrise behind it, it looks really, really nice in my opinion. I hope you liked this video. Make sure to leave a comment on what you want built next. Maybe a like if you actually enjoy this video, and thanks for learning to build adequate with me. See ya.